What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's Sam YouTube? It's your girl that got us and I'm back. Ooh, with another one. With another one. Yeah. Alright, guys. So today's video is going to be, well, you know what? I ain't gonna say. First, before we get into it though, I'm gonna need you to like, comment, subscribe, and share. You hear me? You are more than welcome to think that anything I say on this channel is a bunch of tomfoolery. You are more than welcome to disagree with anything I say on this channel. You are more than welcome to think that anything I say, you are more than welcome to think that I need psychiatric help. Wait, I forgot my intro. Hold up. You are more than welcome. Hold up. I forgot it, y'all. I forgot it. Before we get into the video, I need you to like, comment, subscribe, and share. You hear me? You are more than welcome to think that anything I say on this channel is a bunch of tomfoolery. You are more than welcome to think that anything I say may be crazy, or I am crazy and I may need psychiatric help. You are more than welcome to disagree with anything I say on this channel, because why? What you think is valid in your world. Let me repeat that. What you think is valid in your world. Unless, which in your world. So if you think Bigfoot and Sasquatch is real, this is the channel for you. If you think fairies and mermaids exist, this is the channel for you. If you think aliens are real, this is the channel for you. This channel is about freedom of thought. Think how you want to think, unless how you think is harmful to yourself and to others. Then you may, and if it is, you may be the one that needs psychiatric help. Okay? Now, let's get into the video. all right. So, I've been seeing a whole lot of people, maybe not a whole lot, but I've seen a good amount of people talk about how they refuse to believe that Haiti is the way that it is because of voodoo, because they practice voodoo. But oh, the contraire. Okay? One thing I've learned about voodoo is, well, one thing I know about Haitians, they practice voodoo. I don't care how Christian they appear to be. They could be Christian. They could be Muslim. They could be all these different religions. But I don't care. Those motherfuckers will. If they don't practice voodoo on a regular basis, they know how. If they don't, and whenever they feel like they deem something necessary to do voodoo, baby, they gonna do it. Okay, that's the one thing I do know about Haitians. I don't care how much they say they ain't for that. I don't care how much they say they ain't with that shit. They hide the fact that they with it, that they do it, because they know that it's not accepted a lot around the world, especially here in the United States of America. They don't want to be looked at as, like, you know, the monks that do black magic, the people that do black magic or do dark, you know, practice dark things, right? So they pretend to be Christian, or maybe they're not pretending to be Christian, but they do still practice voodoo. And if they feel like they need to, they will do it. That's one thing I know about Haitians. Number two, one thing I learned about voodoo practitioners, the one thing I know for sure about a voodoo practitioner is that they will tell you if they do voodoo for, like, if it's a business for them, right? Because it's some people who, you know, they do it as a business, so people pay them to do work for them, right? So the one thing I do know about voodoo practitioners, professionals, they will tell you that they will tell you the consequences or the price that comes with doing this work. They will always tell you. And I feel like the spirits that they work with tell them, hey, look, I will do this. I mean, we could do this, but this is what's going to be the effects or the consequences or the price for whatever it is that is being asked of them to be done. Okay, so this is just a theory of mine, right? Because for every cause there is an effect. Sometimes that could show up in people's lives as what? Karma, right? Since people like to say, oh, it ain't, karma ain't real, it's cause and effect, you're not being punished, blah blah blah. Yes, you are. You are absolutely being punished for the cause that whatever you caused, and you're going to get affected by it. You are going to get affected by it. Now, a lot of people, because they lack self-awareness, because they aren't aware, they aren't intuitive, they don't even realize that a lot of shit that be happening to them do be karma for the stuff that they do. And then they can't get there, and they find themselves not being able to dig themselves out of certain holes because they keep stacking up karma on themselves, right? For doing negative things, okay? So boom, anyways, like I say, so I feel like this is just a theory of mine, because I know for a fact, well, I know that Haitians use voodoo to win their Haitian revolution. They won that war way too long ago to still be in the predicament that they are in now today. You know what I'm saying? Like, how haven't you not built up your country since 1700 something? I mean, when did they win that war? Hold on 1 second, let me look it up. Okay, so not 1704, 1804. That's still a long ass time ago, okay? And they haven't been able to build themselves up ever since, right? So there's also no other explanation for how Haiti won the Haitian Revolution against people with more sophisticated weapons, and they didn't have, you know, and they not had those types of weapons or whatever. Anyways, yeah. So, but feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. But if my recollection is correct and what I learned, Haitians did not have access to the types of weapons and guns that the French had or whatever. And if they did get access to them later on, it was like later on or something like that, if my recollection is correct and what I remember learning. But feel free to correct me if you want to. I'm not above being wrong. But anyways, but they use voodoo, right? They use voodoo. And because according to a lot of Haitians, like the elders, when they tell the history, because they won that Haitian Revolution, people started to demonize that spiritual practice, the voodoo spiritual practice, because they were able to win that war, right? But anyways, so, and like I say, I don't feel like there's any other explanation as to why they were able to win that war against people without having access to those weapons and things like that. But boom. So anyways, my theory is just based on my knowledge of voodoo and my knowledge of you know, the spiritual law, like cause and effect, karma, what goes around comes around. That's basically the law of attraction and whatnot. And the spirits probably told them, hey, this is just a theory, the spirits probably told them, y'all will win this war, we could win this war for you, right? But you will have to start from scratch. You will not have any resources. You will not have any money. You will have to start from complete scratch. Okay? So, and I feel like the Haitians have not been able to get themselves out of that since then. Out of the poverty, and have not been able to build a country up because of that. And then also they continue to practice voodoo. Like I say, Haitians practice voodoo. Do not let them tell you that they don't. They do. And like I say, voodoo is war magic, right? So when you hear people say spiritual warfare, that's exactly what it is. A war, you know, tactics of war is to trick your opponent, get one up on your opponent. You know, what's another word I could use? It's a word I'm looking for, and I cannot think of it right now. But you know, to blindside your opponent, right? Outsmart your opponent. That's what voodoo is. You know, that's what voodoo and most of these spiritual practices are. It's because the spiritual cannot be seen with the physical eye, the naked eye, right? And then the fact that a lot of people don't believe in it. A lot of people don't even believe that spirits are even real, and they don't believe that spirits are able to manipulate the physical, right? They don't even believe stuff like that, because the movies make it seem like movies make it seem like the spirits just be moving stuff around. And no, the spirits work mentally, right? So you'll have certain they'll manipulate things through thoughts, right? So you'll have certain, like I say, you have certain thoughts and certain things that you may, certain feelings, emotions that you may feel to make you make certain type of decisions. That is how that shit works, right? So you have to know that or they'll attack your chakras, your chakras, that can manipulate your health and things like that, right? So that's war. They're not gonna give you their hand, right? They're not gonna show you their cards, right? They're not gonna show you their hand. So they will pretend like they don't practice that shit. A lot of people who practice dark magic will not admit that they practice it. They will not admit it. They will be in the background so that they can attack you unknowingly. That's like, you know what I'm saying? They the type of people that like to be sneaky. They like to do shit sneakily. I don't know if that's a word or not, but you know what I mean. Deception, deceit, right? It's trickery. You know, let's like deceive. That's what it is. It's like you have to trick your opponent, right? So like I said before in different videos, that is war. That is spiritual war. Spiritual warfare. War. Voodoo is war magic. So unless somebody is attacking you, see Haitians' ancestors used it because they were being attacked, right? They were being attacked. That is the only reason why Haitians should be doing voodoo. That's the only reason why anybody should be doing voodoo is if you're being attacked and harmed in some way, shape, or form, right? It shouldn't be no she took my job, she took my position, and she's about to get the position at the promotion that I want at work, so I'm gonna go do some voodoo to get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna do some black magic to get it. It shouldn't be that. It shouldn't be, oh, I don't like her, I'm jealous of her because she's prettier than me, so I'm gonna go do some black magic to ruin her life. It shouldn't be that, right? It shouldn't be that at all. But yes, that is my theory. That is my theory on why I believe Haiti is the way that it is. They are not able to dig themselves out of this hole because they are misusing their ancestors' spiritual practice. They are misusing it, and they're not able to dig themselves out of that hole. They are not able to dig themselves out of the poverty that they are in. That is why so many of them are coming over to the United States in droves, because they cannot get themselves up out of that. It is not the white man. You can't blame white supremacy anymore because they won the war. They won the war. They won the war. So why haven't you been able to get yourself out of that? You know what I'm saying? Why haven't you been able? They don't have. You guys won the independence. They won the independence. They got their independence. Okay? There should be no reason for why they still in the position that they are in. So the next time, and I know it's hard when you see the little kids starving and they eating dirt cookies and stuff like that. I know it's hard to look at and to see and to watch, but that we are not the reasons why they are in that position. It is no, like I said, Haiti is independent, right? There's nobody to blame. There's nobody else to blame. Now, you can say, you can feel the way that you feel, but spiritually, on a spiritual level, that is my theory. Okay? All right, now let's get into the next thing I want to talk about. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is hot. Ooh, Lord, it's hot. All right, so the next thing I want to talk about is another example of how when you use these spiritual practices, when you practice these spiritual practices, and an example of like cause and effect from using these certain spiritual practices. Okay, so this one's it's not really a negative one. This is just one that I just wanted to talk about it because it's a lot of girls who use this in order to get famous men, celebrity men, and rich men, in order to get famous, in order to latch on and use their likeness and use their fame to make themselves famous, to try to get famous. And they're putting, they're doing spells, and they put spells on these men, and it's just it's not right. You know what I'm saying? It's just not right. So boom. And then when it don't turn out or work out the way that they want it. Okay, look. Boom, I'm just going to tell a story. So this is just a made up story that I'm just to give an example, right? Because I have seen situations where it's like a bit similar. So, boom. There's this guy who made it to become a famous rapper. We gonna call him Lit Boy, Mr. Litty. We're gonna call him Mr. Litty. So Mr. Litty becomes famous, right? Mr. Litty becomes this huge famous rapper, right? And somebody that Mr. Litty knew, we're gonna call her Lola, who used to go to elementary school with Mr. Litty, was like, oh shoot, Mr. Litty is famous. Mr. Litty, and so Lola say, because Lola practices, let's say Lola practices Ifa, right? And she asks Yemaya, and she uses Yemaya to make actually Yemaya to make her Mr. Litty's girlfriend, right? So Lola's intentions are if she could be Mr. Litty's girlfriend, then that'll make her famous, right? It's not because she wants it's not for the money, it could be for the money. It's not for the money, it's not for the stability. It's strictly for publicity and fame, right? Trying to become her own celebrity. But she gonna use Mr. Litty to do it, right? Because she don't have no other talents. She don't really have no talents, or she don't really know what else she could do to get to fame. You know what I'm saying? So boom. And she probably never even wanted to be famous until she seen Mr. Liddy famous. And it's like, oh shoot, I could be famous. You know what I mean? So boom, Lola asked Yemaya to make her Mr. Liddy's girlfriend. So she gets what she wants, right? Because most of the time it works, right? People get what they want. They get the results that they want. That's why they practice this religion and this spiritual practice, right? So boom, she get what she want, right? And then so Lola is expecting Mr. Liddy to bring her on red carpets and to do this and to do that and to post her on his social media. But Mr. Liddy don't do none of that, right? Mr. Liddy doesn't do that. Mr. Liddy barely goes on red carpets himself, right? Mr. Liddy barely posts on social media himself, right? When Mr. Liddy does post on social media, it's about his music, it's about his career, about his job or whatever, right? But he takes Lola to, because he's making all this money, and he's like, you know, this the woman I'm with, take her to Paris. And I'm gonna take her to Paris, and we gonna shop, and I'm gonna buy her everything she want, and I'm buying her everything she want, and we going to expensive restaurants, we traveling the world, right? So then, but Lola not satisfied with that. Lola's not satisfied with that. And Lola is like, you know, arguing with Mr. Liddy about not bringing her on red carpets, not posting her on social media, not bringing her to the Grammys, not bringing her to the BET Awards, not bringing her to, what else? What other awards they got? I don't know. Whatever else, right? And like I say, Mr. Liddy barely participates in these things. Like, he not really that kind of guy. So, you know, he probably have gone to one or two, a couple of them, right? Because he had to perform or whatnot, maybe something like that, right? So boom. Anyways, so Lola, she not satisfied, right? So they arguing. And Mr. Liddy's like, he's coming to the realization that, okay, this girl just wants publicity, right? So he start leaving her ass at home. He start going on to her, leave that motherfucker at home, right? And she at home. They ain't, you know, and he cheating. He on the road doing whatever he want, cheating and whatnot. Now he doesn't tell Lola that he's, you know, peeping or feels like she just was with him for the fame, right? So then Lola does more magic. Lola does more magic to get Mr. Liddy to bring her in front of paparazzi. Y'all walk together through paparazzi. Y'all take me to the Grammys, like whatever, right? So Lola gets what she wants, right? Lola walks through the paparazzi. Paparazzi's taking pictures of her. But Lola still is not getting the traction and the fame and the, cause like, while people know who Lola is, people aren't checking for Lola, if that makes sense. Lola wants to be talked about. Lola wants to be in the blogs. Lola wants to have fans and wants, you know, whatever, right? And she not being talked about enough. Like, nobody's talking about her. Like, they might mention her once or twice they might mention her one time on the blog, and it's because she was walking with Mr. Liddy, right? So, you know, the blogs might say Mr. Liddy and his girlfriend spotted walking, you know, whatever, and then that's it. So then Mr. Liddy might find enough, Mr. Liddy. So anyways, Lola, you know, tries to make it seem like Mr. Liddy is, you know, just wants to cheat on her. You know, he just wants to be out there with a bunch of women, when really she just wants this man to bring her to these places so that she could be seen. So again, Mr. Liddy's like, okay, you know, but I'm not really enjoying this. Like, oh, you want to, like, why you want to be shown off or posting on my social media so much? Like, why is this a thing? Like, why are you caring so much? Now, he probably ain't saying that to her, you know, but he's peeping it, right? He's peeping it. So anyways, Mr. Liddy, and then so Mr. Liddy finds another girl that he likes, or he starts talking to other women. Lola does magic to run those women off. She asks Yamaya, run those women off, get those women out of here, right? So boom, it works, right? She gets what she wants. Those women get ran off, but Lola still doesn't get the popularity that she's looking for, the celebrity status that she's looking for. So she do more. So she asks, you might gotta do some more shit, like have him put me. No, like I want to be a celebrity, so have him put me in a video. Have him put me on the cover of one of his album covers. You know, and then again, Lola gets what she wants, but nobody's checking for Lola like that. Nobody's worried about Lola like that. So anyways, Mr. Liddy finally finds a girl that, cause this relationship is on and off, right? So Mr. Liddy finally finds a girl that he likes, and he ain't coming up off of. It's like, nah, I like this girl. She the real deal. She the real one, right? And she can't, and the magic is no longer working. You know what I'm saying? Like, she can't run this one off. Like, what she could do is she could try to, like, she could cause delays. Like, it would be delayed, it'll be this and that, but it's not working out the way that she wanted to. And Lola's like, why is she still around? Why is she still around? Why does he still like her, right? And so now Lola is 45, 40, and has not accomplished anything with her life, has not accomplished anything with her life. Has not accomplished anything in her life because she was too busy chasing this man. She was too busy trying to cling to this man for fame. So the moral of the story is you may get what you want. Like, when you practice these certain religions and you ask these spirits for certain things in your life, you may get what you want, but you as a human being still have to put in the work you still have to be, because you cannot outsmart the universe, God. You cannot outsmart it. Okay, you cannot outsmart it. You cannot manipulate it. You can't do any of that. Right? So you still have to be, you're not above spiritual law. You still have to be what you want to attract, right? You still have to put in the work and to take the action in order to, because a lot of people, I feel like, are using these spiritual practices as like shortcuts to get what they want faster and quicker and not have to do the work. and not have to put in the time, and not have to, and not actually, do the manifestation methods in order which is what Jesus taught, in order to get what they want, in order to manifest what they want. They rely on these spirits to do it for them, but you yourself still have to be aligned and take the action towards the things that you want still. So Lola, because everybody already knew who Lola was, because she was Mr. Liddy's girlfriend, but Lola chose not to do anything. You know what I'm saying? She chose not to use her notoriety and take advantage of her notoriety, and that would have made her the celebrity. But because she was so busy focused on that man and controlling his life and controlling who he talks to and control, you know what I'm saying? Because she felt like she needed him in order to be famous. Because she got what she wanted. She was known. Everybody knows who she was. Everybody knew who she was, right? Or knows who she was. This is a fictional character, y'all. But everybody knows who she is. But she did not do anything with that fame, with that notoriety. So no matter how many spells you do, no matter how many spirits you call on, you still have to do the work. You still have to do the work. Okay? And yes, without the spirits, without doing, voodoo or Ifa, practicing Ifa or Santeria or whatever, maybe it might take a little longer for people who choose not to practice those religions, who choose to just do it strictly based off their own energy, literally doing the work to align themselves with what they want to manifest in their lives. Because yes, it does take longer depending on how depending on your mindset and the way that you think, and you have to do the work to rearrange, right? To it's kind of like manipulating your own mind, your own self, into believing that what you want is accessible, what you want will happen, and then you will take the action, because your subconscious, because like I said, your subconscious is the remote control. It's like the remote control of everything that you do, of your actions. So when you hear me say energetic block, I'm talking about subconscious thought patterns, thought forms. And that is what's holding most people back. When you train your subconscious mind by saying those affirmations, writing it down in your journal, saying the prayers, and then eventually you'll start to think, act, and do, and become what you want to attract. So yes, like I said, it takes longer without Santeria. It takes longer without the Baphomet. I hate even saying that deity's name, but it might take longer. And like I say, it always comes with a price. So that was an example of it coming with a price, without her even realizing it. So now Lola is probably gonna have to live in poverty, because Mr. Liddy got with the woman that he actually loved. And so now Lola is 40 with nothing. Okay? That is an example of paying a price for manipulating someone. Lola didn't even try to be a good woman to this man. Lola didn't try to even get to know this man. Lola didn't try to even be good to the man, be a good woman to the man. Lola was strictly focused on being shown off. Okay? So, that concludes my video. Alright, guys? It always comes with a price. You always have to put, you still have to put in the work. That's the moral of the story. It always comes with a price. You still have to do the work. And there would always be an effect of something that you caused. It would just, that's just it. Because you cannot outsmart, and you cannot outsmart God, the universe, God or the universe, and you cannot manipulate God or the universe. You just can't. You just can't. You are not above spiritual law. Period. All right, guys. That's it. Bye.
Yeah, I want you, but